Ladies and gents, welcome back. I get off the heels of making a video about this, and then more news comes out. Now, check out the original video right there. Check it out, or in the description down below, it'll be a top link to that video. But we're talking about the cabinet shuffle, and news drops while I'm doing that video. Now, the news here is that Marco Mendicino has made a statement, a public statement, and don't get your hopes up. Hold up. Let's get into that statement. Marco Mendicino saying, "It has been an honor to serve as minister for nearly 4 years. I'm proud of all we've accomplished at immigration and public safety, from welcoming a record number of new Canadians to advancing a historic gun control bill to improving Indigenous policing and more. None of these things actually improve the lives of Canadian citizens at all, or even non-citizens, permanent residents, or the like. Nonetheless, he gets into it here. This is his public statement. Honorable Marco Mendicino, Member of Parliament. It has been my honor to serve Canadians as minister for nearly 4 years. I want to thank Prime Minister for this opportunity. I am proud of the work I led while holding the immigration and public safety portfolios. This includes welcoming a number of aspiring new Canadians amidst a global pandemic, passing historic gun control legislation through the House of Commons, making significant strides to advancing Indigenous policing, and chairing the most recent Five Eyes ministerial conference in New Zealand, where we strengthened allied efforts to combat foreign interference and protect democracies." Oh God, foreign interference. He's really pulling that card out as if he's done anything against it. "I want to thank my staff and the public service for their tireless work and all that we've achieved together. There remains much to be done, and I'm confident you will carry the torch going forward. I cannot extend enough gratitude to the members of the national security and law enforcement communities. Thanks for letting me off the hook all this time. Thank you for putting yourself in harm's way to protect Canadians every single day. They do not say nearly enough. We don't say this nearly enough. To my cabinet and caucus colleagues, it remains a privilege to work with you. The seating arrangements may move around in the House of Commons from time to time, but we are a family and committed to the same cause." So he says here, it remains a privilege to work with you. A lot of people immediately going, "Oh, he's out, he's resigning." No, it's not a resignation letter. "Above all, thank you to my family and friends back home. Without your love, support, and unwavering sacrifice, I would not have been able to meet the rigorous demands of being cabinet minister. Those who know me well know that that politics is my blood, and my roots in Eglinton Lawrence run deep. I am so grateful to the good people of my constituency, for whom I have every intention of continuing to serve for the remainder of this mandate and into the next election." So he's still running for office. He's still in office, but it sounds like, by the tune of this, the tone of this letter, that he's getting the boot from cabinet. He may be getting thrown right to the back benches, no longer sitting on there. Now, Stephen Tyler is saying on Twitter, Marco Mendicino issues a statement. Marco Mendicino issues a statement, and even in said statement is unable to tell the truth. Too true. Of course, compulsory liar and incompetent Marco Mendicino is out of the role as public safety minister. "I got demoted," it says, as the internet says. Do not hold up a blank piece of paper. This is what happens if you hold up a blank piece of paper. Now, Marco Mendicino is under fire. This is the CCFR. I shared this in the last video. So again, check that video out. Go watch that one in its entirety, because this is about the whole cabinet shuffle, not just Marco Mendicino. But he's under fire because of, well, some of the things he's done. Well, first off, it was the Bill C-21 with the amendment that was much larger than the bill in the first place, brought in there at the 23rd hour, last minute, to try to ban all guns essentially in Canada. That failed. But also, this news that broke from Blacklock's reporter about Marco Mendicino's family actually profiteering from, well, the efforts in Ukraine. Mendicino family profiting from guns and ammo sent to Ukraine, while Public Safety Minister Marco Mendicino is focused on Trudeau's gun ban legislation, taking lawful firearms from hunters and sport shooters all over Canada, rural Canada, everywhere, and obviously also banning all handguns essentially in Canada. Bill C-21 on disarming hunters and sport shooters. His wife held shares in Ukraine war defense contractor Northrop Grumman, as he pledged to be out in front helping Ukraine with military aids. Records show stock in the company jumped 39% last year following Russia's invasion of Ukraine. Blacklock's reporter has the story, and you can check out the link for that, as Blacklock Reporter reported on this. Public Safety Minister Marco Mendicino's wife held shares in Ukraine war defense contractor as he pledged to be out in front in helping Ukraine with military aids, records show. So all that Canadian taxpayers' money going towards, boosting the stocks of companies in this effort. Now, outlets are jumping on it right away. As soon as the news comes out, you see articles popping up. Marco Mendicino confirms ouster in Justin Trudeau's cabinet shuffle. Mendicino says he's proud of the work he accomplished while serving on the immigration file and public safety. Immigration, obviously, of course, we're going to be bringing in up to 500,000 new Canadians every year moving forward in perpetuity. Now, do many Canadians actually want to end up staying here? Do many foreigners that come to Canada end up wanting to stay here? That's a different story. As they've been ruining Canada, foreigners that come here have in droves decided not to make Canada their home. In fact, being frustrated about the whole subject, people are saying, why did you lie to us and tell us that it's so great when you're ruining it as we're coming in? Trudeau spent Monday and Tuesday in private meetings in the capital, while several other ministers canceled appearances at public events. A source with knowledge on the shuffle said all ministers who can take it to Ottawa will be at Rideau Hall, including those who are not getting new roles. The source, who could not speak publicly about the expected events, said the new slate of ministers would gather for the cabinet meeting after the announcement. Now, of course, nothing leaks unintentionally. This is all intentional leaks. This is the way it goes with the news. This is this interesting relationship that politicians have with news agencies, the mainstream media news agencies. Some of them actually going from positions in government to reporters in news agencies, which seems a little backwards if you ask me. The government is currently made up of 38 cabinet ministers and the prime minister. That's 39 altogether. It's already 1/3 bigger than it was in 2015, which doesn't leave a lot of room to add more people. The cabinet will also likely be gender balanced, as a Trudeau trend that he's kept up since the Liberals were first elected in 2015. Now, those gender and racial balances that he puts in there are always there until they're inconvenient when they have a minister that actually wants to do their job, as we know with Jody Wilson-Raybould. She was given the position, and she was fired from the position for doing the job. I mean, sometimes you get fired for not doing your job, but some people get fired for doing just that. Now, Calibre on Twitter, go follow this account, a really good account, but he put out there, as promised, a brief video explaining what Canadian gun owners can infer from the appointment of a new Minister of Public Safety. I'll just give you a snippet, but the link will be in the description down below.
Hey there, folks. Dan Fritter with Calibre Magazine, doing a pretty quick video on the expected cabinet shuffle tomorrow. Obviously pretty important for gun owners, seeing as the Minister of Public Safety is the sponsor for Bill C-21, and he's expected to be shuffled out. Now, that doesn't mean anything for C-21's legislative progress, but it does mean that there's probably an indication of the government's intent with regards to further firearms regulation. What I mean by that is that the new minister is going to fall into one of two categories, most likely. The first is potentially a very competent minister who is selected because the Liberal Party sees, or the Prime Minister sees this individual as someone capable of navigating the minefields that are Bill C-21 and their gun regulation, but also to the foreign interference inquiry, which they are likely going to face in the fall. The second category would be a more junior MP who's probably serving as a parliamentary secretary currently, and who is in a hotly contested riding who would benefit from the increase in profile that comes with a ministerial appointment. The Minister of Public Safety spends a lot of time in front of cameras, talking to journalists, being quoted in the news, and obviously if that's your local MP, a lot of those news headlines resound in your local community, meaning ministers tend to get a boost in the polls, 2 to 5% or even more if they're a really well-liked minister.
So I want to leave this to you guys. You can go check out the link in the description down below and watch the rest of the video. He goes on to talk about why Mendicino may not be backbenched, but just shifted around because of how important the riding that he has is. And in fact, if they backbench him, that might say a lot to how bad a job he's been doing, because if they backbench him, it opens up that riding to, well, conservatives, because, well, the people in that riding don't want to have a backbencher. They want to have somebody who's actually in the forefront of the government. So a lot will be told by how this goes. But yeah, of course, Calibre magazine putting it out there is saying that it's really important to follow this closely, because you know, they're still pushing these laws forward. They're just trying to do it with a face that's far less damaged as the one that they have here. Now, I don't think that Trudeau is going to try to relinquish power or go into an election, but this is the rumor that's been going on over the past few weeks or months anyway, a snap fall election. I doubt this to be the case, but hey, I've been wrong in the past, and I'll eat crow when I have to. But I just don't think that this would be the case, as I see the Liberals would actually lose a lot of power if they ran in another election coming up. So they're guaranteed power until 2025 with this coalition that they have with Jagmeet Singh. So why wouldn't they just hold on to that and try to see what they can do with riding that out and putting through as much legislation as they possibly can? Because they won't be able to put through legislation if they get voted out. So anyway, leave a comment in the comment section down below. Let me know what you think of this whole thing. But that's Marco Mendicino. Looks like he's lost his job as the public safety minister. We don't know yet what's actually the fate of this guy. So we'll find out soon enough, and I'll be reporting on that. So we'll see you in the next one. Leave a comment in the comment section down below. And of course, as always, keep on trucking.